Do you feel stuck in a tech house loop? Then this video is exactly for you. All of us music producers had been in the situation where we produced a tech house loop, a kick, hi-hat, a bass line. We didn't know where to go next. We didn't know how to create the breakdown. We didn't know how to create the intro of the track. We didn't even know how the drop should properly sound like. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a few techniques to create more than just a tech house loop and extend this tech house loop to a finished project. Before I start the tutorial, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel. My name is David Fritz. And also go in the links in the description. I have a few tracks released and also big news. I'm releasing my music production online course. If you want to be part of this music production course, comment below whatever you want and I'm going to make sure that you are part of the pre-launch course. And now guys, I guess let's go straight into the tutorial. So I produced this very basic tech house pattern. In this part it's just kicks. Let's just listen to it. So this is a very basic tech house loop. We could play this now for 20,000 hours and it wouldn't even get interesting. So what we have to do is I think I want to add something, and this is also the first step. Look for samples which are gonna add to the general vibe of the track. I talked about this in a lot of my other videos you can check out in my channel right now. Go on Splice, go on in any sample bank, go on FL Studio, go on Ableton and just look for samples where you think they might match this track. So let's go on my browser channel here. I think I'm gonna go for some organic instruments and let's go for some, I think, guitar sounds. What helps a lot as well is to play the loop and then during that time play some samples. Ooh, this sounds really good. Let's add this into the playlist. It's a Kashmir Middle East guitar. That is great. Wow, this sounds really great. This is something I can definitely play for at least 8 bars. And now we have to add it there as well because this loop can be repeated a lot of times. It depends on loop to loop. You can sometimes repeat loops, sometimes you can. Sometimes it gets getting boring really fast, but this one it sounds really interesting. Let's go to this part here. Comment below if you think I should release and finish this track complete and you release it on Spotify. Because it has potential, I believe that. This whole loop is divided into 2 loops, okay? One is 8 bars long and the other one starts here and is another 8 bars long. Because we want to create a little bit of difference, we're gonna go from bar 13 to 17 and create some sort of, let's say, reverb to create kind of a build-up for the second proper part of the drop. So what I have here is the master automation. So on a master channel, a reverb opens up the more it goes up. You can see it here. So on my master bus, which is just here, channel 50, I have this Valhalla Supermassive installed, and the more it plays, the more it gets wet. But obviously we don't want to have the bass frequency, so we're gonna just like do the same thing with a high pass filter. So on the master channel, a high pass filter means that it's getting more, like you're gonna hear less of the high frequencies, and this is gonna create a build up on the second part of the first part of the loop. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's listen to how this sounds like. So it creates a little bit of release and tension also during a drop, even though we're playing all the time the same thing, all the time is playing the same guitar, the same bass line, the same basic pattern, but we switch it up. Sometimes we don't play hi-hat, sometimes we play a clap, sometimes we use, after this one, use everything. We can even start like with drum fills. We can even go on the drum fills I saved up and look for some drum fills, drum loops, drum fills. Yeah, that could be one. I wouldn't prefer this. I'm just using this one for the sake of this video. But this could be a drum loop which could fit probably perfectly into this little part here, just before the proper part of the drop starts. Nah. Maybe this one is better. Yeah, this could be perfect. So this is on the last part of the drop. And yeah, so we basically create some sort of interesting parts in the drop. And it's not anymore a loop, it's properly like creating moments, creating a reverb automation. We can probably even add a riser, not just a reverb automation. Let's add a simple riser here. So yeah, the trick is literally play the loop, and during that try samples in FL Studio, and then you're gonna find out, hey, this sample matches this track or this sample doesn't matches it, because you can play it in the same time. Obviously it's not in the perfect timing, but you're gonna be able to play it. Yeah, and this already, again, it creates a different kind of ambient, different kind of energy. And also because obviously this part probably of this whole track is gonna be the first drop or the whatever second drop, we're gonna need some sort of build up here before that. So let's listen to this again. Yeah, let's create a little build up here. I'm gonna still take this guitar sample, and because it's a build up, let's just shorten it to half a bar. This is a perfect example for creating a build-up, like creating those like shortened parts of the same sample what's going to play at the drop anyway, and then maybe 4 bars before the drop hits, we decrease the time again by half. And then just 2 bars before the drop, we decrease it again by 2 bars. So we make it just like that. And I believe that it could sound really nice if we would add loads of reverb on the master bus here on those last 2 bars before the drop happens. So let's do it. Let's do it like something like that. And then it maybe goes down again. When the drop comes, it goes down again like that. Make sure that this is still at the same placement here for the second part of the drop. And we're gonna probably add the same high pass, we're gonna add the same uplifter also before the drop hits. Fit it to the tempo so it's the right length. Hopefully that works out. Yeah, it didn't work out. That's fantastic. So reverse it again. And even that didn't work out. So we're just gonna do manually. Yeah, perfect. So, and what's also really typical for tech house loops is that we still have hi-hats and claps playing before the drop comes. We just don't have a heavy kick, and we don't have a heavy bass playing. So, and also before the drop comes, like usually a build up, there's a high pass filter on the master channel. So the more closer it gets to the drop, usually the less bass material you have in the build up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a point here where the drop hits, and we're gonna do this one here. We're gonna add this. This is a high pass filter on the master channel, just for you to know, by the way, because I know everyone is gonna want to know this question. It's a very simple FL Studio high pass filter. You don't need the craziest, most fancy EQ for $200. It's not worth it. Just do it simple, and that seems to work. I want a bit of more reverb, here. And I feel like I still want the bassline to play, just with no sub material, alright? So the bassline is still playing. I know I'm contradicting myself a little bit right now, probably. But because there's a high pass filter, you're not going to hear the sub bass. So let's put it on maybe 25%. Maybe a bit more because I feel it's not enough. Alright, this sounds already interesting. I definitely want the clap as well to play at this build up. Sometimes you run out of ideas and sometimes you try your best to use those techniques I'm teaching you right now, but sometimes it just doesn't seem to work, and that is fine. If there's a tech house loop you produced and you're not feeling it, you don't find the right samples, it takes you ages to find something, this is the next tip I'm going to give you. Quit the project. Put the project into your project archive folder. I have on my laptop, I'm just going to show you quickly, I have on my laptop a folder which is just for all the archives, all the tracks I never released, which are just there because I tried them. So here, project archive, this is all the tracks I produced in my life so far, and 95% of those tracks are not even released. So you put those and just quit the project. You don't have to, you can't force a track to be great. Trust me, if a track is really that great, you are gonna feel it. Just listen to emotions, be a part of it, connected to it, but don't force yourself to finish this project, because sometimes there's just no way you can finish it. Sometimes the project is just not for you. You basically get my idea. Do it step by step. Don't force it. Add risers, add samples, look for samples, play with melodies. But also don't force the process, because sometimes it takes time. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.